Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to All Praise Picks. Today we look at the NBA. We have the Portland Trailblazers traveling to Milwaukee to play the Bucks on January 4th, 2025. So currently the Trailblazers are 11 and 22, which is 13th in the Western Conference, and the Bucks are 17 and 15, which is 5th place in the Eastern Conference. So this should be a pretty good game. It's a revenge game for Damian Lillard. If you don't know, he used to play for the Trailblazers for most of his career. And this should be a pretty good spot for the Bucks. They just lost recently at home to the Nets, 113 to 110. So I do think that they will probably come back and win this game and probably should win it pretty handily. They are currently favored to win this game by 12 and a half points. And I do like the Bucks, especially Giannis and Dame in this game. Uh, so in this video, I have a few parlays for you guys, all on BetMGM. As always, I'll break down the lines, give you my thoughts, and hopefully if you tap in, we can all win. So these are the first two parlays that I have at plus 110 and minus 115. It's just focused on Damian Lillard having a really good game and the Bucks winning in the first half as well as winning the game. So I have Dame to have 20 points, 5 assists, and 3 3-pointers made, as well as on the parlay on the left side at plus 110 for the Bucks to win the first half, and then at minus 115 on the right side for the Bucks to win the game. So Portland allows the third most points to the point guard position, and Dame has pretty good history playing against the Trailblazers in his two games. Uh, in those two games, he's had 25 points and 31 points, and he shot a significant amount of field goal attempts, over 20 field goal attempts in both those games, and over 10 3-pointers in both of those games attempted. So I do like his chances for over 20 points, especially if he takes a similar volume playing against his former team. I also like his chances for over 5 assists in this game. So Portland allows the second most assists to the point guard position over the last 15 games, and Dame can play point guard as well as Chris Middleton, but I like Dame's chances for over 5 assists, especially if the Portland Trailblazers potentially double team Damian Lillard. Portland is also pretty bad against defending the center position, and Giannis can play center, and I do like Giannis' chances for over 20 points as well as 25 points, which I'll show later in this video. But at plus 110 and minus 115, if you invest 1 unit on these parlays, I put a little bit more than half a unit on both of these ones, just because I think that Dame will just show up in this game. Um, but at plus 110, if you invest 1 unit on that parlay, you have a 110% return on investment. And then if you invest on the parlay on the right side at minus 115, you have just about an 80% return on investment. As always, have bankroll consciousness and understanding of your finances when deciding to place these bets if you do decide to place it with me. These next two parlays are just focused on Damian Lillard having an extraordinary game. Extraordinary for him really should not be 25 points. It's probably like around 30 or 35 points, but I just like the odds of these parlays at plus 120 and plus 165. Focusing on the parlay on their left side at plus 120, I have Dame for over 20 points, 5 assists, and 3 3-pointers made, as I said previously, as well as the Bucks to win the first half, as well as to win the game. Um, and then on the parlay on the right side, I have the Bucks to also win the first half and to win the game, but Dame to have over 25 points and to make 2 3-pointers. Um, really focusing on the parlay on the right side at plus 165. I just like Dame's chances for over 25 points. He's scored over 25 points in both games versus Portland in his career, scoring 25 and 31, like I mentioned. And Portland is pretty bad against defending the point guard and shooting guard positions. So I do think that Dame will take a lot of threes and should be able to get over 25 points. And at plus 165, I like the odds at that. Um, so I put just under half a unit on the plus 165 one, and then a half unit on the plus 120 for the Bucks to win the first half as well as to win the game. So if you invest 1 unit on these parlays at plus 120, you'll have a 120% return on investment, and at plus 165, you have a 165% return on investment. As always, have bankroll consciousness to understand your finances when deciding to place these bets if you decide to place it with me. Continuing on with Dame to have a good game, I like Dame for over 25 points and 3 3-pointers made, as well as Chris Middleton for over 3 assists, and that comes out to a parlay of plus 120. I like Middleton's chances for over 3 assists. Since returning to the lineup, he has been more involved and his playing time has increased. In the 6 games that he started, he's had over 23 minutes played in each of those games, and he's had over 3 assists in all but one of those games. So he's gone over 3 assists in 4 out of the last 5 games, and in his last game versus Brooklyn, he only had 2 assists. So I do think that with this being a bounce back spot and just a pretty good matchup overall offensively for the Bucks, Middleton should be involved as an offensive facilitator to Dame and Giannis and should be able to get over 3 assists. And I spoke upon Dame's points as well as his 3-pointers made previously. Uh, at plus 120, if you invest 1 unit on this parlay, you'll have a 120% return on investment. I put half a unit on this parlay because I already have similar lines in previous parlays. So that's just for bankroll management. As always, have bankroll management and understanding of your finances when deciding to place these bets if you decide to place it with me. This next parlay at plus 110, I have Giannis to have over 25 points and 5 assists, as well as Damian Lillard to have over 5 assists. And the angle I was considering here is if Portland does double team Dame, he probably will become more of a facilitator, and which will lead to Giannis getting single defendered, as well as just more offensive opportunities for Giannis to score. As I mentioned, Portland allows the most points to the center position over the last 7 games, as well as the fourth most points over the last 15 games. So this is a really good matchup for Giannis to score. And he's had over 25 points in his last 5 games, scoring 27, 30, 33, 32, and 37. And also in his games versus Portland with Damian Lillard on the Bucks, he had 27 and 33 points. And I just think that the amount of shots that he's taking near the rim, as well as his free throw opportunities, should lead to him having over 25 points. I also like both of them for over 5 assists. Focusing on Giannis, I think if the ball is in his hands more because they're just double teaming Dame and forcing the ball out of his hands, he should have a good chance of having over 5 assists just passing to the other role players on the Bucks. Giannis has also gone over 5 assists in 3 out of his last 5 games, and in the 2 games versus Portland, he had 4 and 6 assists. So this is a pretty close line, but in recent history, he has been pretty good against the Trailblazers, as well as just playing pretty well overall in his past 5 games. So I do like his chances for over 5 assists, especially if the ball is in his hands more than it is in Dame's hands. And I think that Dame should be able to be a pretty good facilitator for the Bucks if he is receiving double teams, and should also get over 5 assists. In his last 3 games, he's gone over 5 assists, having 7 assists versus the Nets, 5 versus the Pacers, and 12 versus the Bulls. And he generally stays around 4+ assists. He's gone over 4+ assists in his last 10 games. So I do like his chances of getting one more assist than 4 at plus 110. So I put half a unit on this parlay, but if you put 1 unit on this parlay, you have 110% return on investment. As always, have bankroll consciousness, understanding of your finances when deciding to place these bets if you do decide to place it with me. So these are the last 2 parlays that I have. Just really just focus on the Bucks to win and accumulation of the key players on the Bucks to have good games. So I have Giannis for over 20 points, as well as Damian Lillard for over 20 points, and also Dame to make 2 3-pointers and Middleton to have over 3 assists. But the difference between these 2 parlays is the parlay on the left side is for the Bucks to win the first quarter, and the parlay on the right side is for the Bucks to win the first half. I also like the Bucks' chances of winning the game, but I just prefer to take the first quarter and first half money lines rather than the Bucks money line overall, just for the odds. So at plus 125, if you invest 1 unit on that parlay, you'll have 125% return on investment, and at plus 100, if you invest 1 unit, you have 100% return on investment. I put half a unit on both of these parlays, just for the matter of bankroll management. But per usual, just have financial consciousness, understanding of how many bets you are placing if you do decide to place these bets with me. So those are all the parlays I have for this Trailblazers versus Bucks matchup. Like I mentioned, I do lean towards the Bucks winning this game, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks honestly win this game by like 20 points. But it'll be exciting to watch, especially since Dame is playing against his former team, and I do hope the parlays hit. But be sure to like and comment on this video, as well as share and subscribe to my channel. And stay tuned for more NBA and NFL videos coming out later this week. And until next time, peace.